Our granddaughters loves anything to do with unicorns. Pictures, soft toys, motifs on clothing, pencil cases, jewellery, trinkets, you name it, she loves it. What was or what is the unicorn? Does it exist? Did it ever exist? Did it once exist and has died out? Is it simply an ibex with one broken horn? Or is it simply a fictitious beast in the same vein as mermaids, Bigfoot, the Yeti and the Loch Ness Monster? The unicorn appears to be a mythological animal that is similar to a horse except that it only has one horn. And that is where its name comes from. Uni equals one and corn equals horn. Unicorns are actually mentioned in the Bible. Numbers 23:22. God brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. Job 39:9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib? And then Psalm 22:21. Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorn. And that's just to name a few. And interestingly enough, it only appears to be in the King James Version. Most other translations have ox or wild ox, and that's simply because the Hebrew word used can easily be translated as such. So did or does the unicorn exist? I don't know. Probably not. Well, what has a unicorn got to do with Christmas and the Christmas story? Well, perhaps nothing, perhaps everything. Perhaps it all depends on our understanding of Christ, on how we see Christ, what we do with Christ and what we do with Christ's birth. Let me try to explain. In 1948, C.S. Lewis wrote a cryptic and metaphorical poem entitled The Late Passenger. The language in the poem reflects its time, so please listen as I read it to you and try to do it justice because it's a little bit of tongue twisters in places. The Late Passenger. The sky was low, the sounding rain was falling dense and dark, and Noah's sons were standing at the window of the ark. The beasts were in, but Japheth said, I see one creature more, belated and unmated, there comes knocking at the door. Well, let him knock, said Ham, or let him drown or learn to swim. We're overcrowded as it is. We've got no room for him. And yet it knocks. How terribly it knocks, said Shem. Its feet are hard as horn, but oh, the air that comes from it is sweet. Now hush, said Ham, you'll waken Dad, and once he comes to see what's at the door, it's sure to mean more work for you and me. Noah's voice came roaring from the darkness down below. Some animal is knocking, take it in before we go. Ham shouted back, and savagely he nudged the other two. That's only Japheth knocking down a brad nail in his shoe. But Noah said, Boys, I hear a noise that's like a horse's hoof. Said Ham, why, that's just the dreadful rain that drums upon the roof. Noah tumbled up on deck and out he put his head. His face went grey, his knees were loosed. He tore his beard and said, Look, look, it would not wait, it turns away, it takes its flight. Fine work you've made of it, my sons, between you all tonight. Even if I could outrun it now, it would not turn again, not now. Our great discourtesy has earned its high disdain. O noble and unmated beast, my sons were all unkind. In such a night, what stable and what manger will you find? O golden hooves, O cataracts of mane, O nostrils wide with indignation, O the neck-waved arch the lovely pride. O long shall be the furrows ploughed across the hearts of men before it comes to stable and to manger once again. And dark and crooked all the ways in which our race shall walk, and shrivelled all their manhood like a flower with broken stalk. And all the world, O Ham, may curse the hour when you were born. Because of you, the ark must sail without the unicorn. Well, C.S. Lewis makes it clear that in this poem, the unicorn is a metaphor for Christ, and the actions of Japheth, Ham and Shem are metaphors for how some people see the birth of Christ and how some people treat Christ. Noah's sons had all the other animals on board, yet they did not make room for the unicorn. The inns in Bethlehem were full to the brim with people. They did not have room for Mary and Joseph and the birth of the Christ child. People can have everything else that is, in their lives, in the ark of their existence, yet do not have room for Christ. Noah's sons missed the unicorn. The inns of Bethlehem missed the birth of Christ. People today still miss the coming of the Christ, the Saviour of the world. I imagine that at this time of the year leading up to Christmas, people will be quite busy. And with COVID restrictions being wound back, people might be trying to cram 6 months' worth of living and shopping into 1 month. So things could be somewhat hectic. As we approach Christmas in this year of 2020, will we make room? Will we have time for Christ? Or has the ark of our lives, our family, our business, our leisure, our activities, our self-interest, our COVID recovery, excitement and progress sailed without him? It would be a tragedy if we made the same mistake now as Noah's sons did back then and locked the Christ, the Saviour of the world, out of our ark, our hearts, our lives once again.